Welcome to my channel. My name is Brianna. I love to talk about all things minimalism, and I am here today because I'm going to make a minimalist capsule wardrobe declutter all of the above video, and I encourage you to join me and hopefully learn a couple things along the way if that's something that you're interested in as well. So it's spring 2026. Things are really changing. The flowers, the weather, the wind, and with all that change comes clothing. And I have just found myself reaching for my summer/spring clothing tote more and more. And I was just like, today's the day. Let's switch everything over from winter to spring, because that's what's happening outside and that's what should be happening inside and on my body as well. So I'm gonna be grabbing all my spring and summer stuff out of here, and then we're gonna go on and see what we can do and the things that we can learn, such as how to declutter your winter stuff. And then I'm gonna also give a couple of tips on how to create a capsule wardrobe and a minimalist wardrobe, and something that you can feel comfortable and confident in. But let's first start here and see what we got in this tote. Okay, so my family all shares this tote, and this is all of my stuff. I'm going to be bringing it all down and adding it to my closet. Okay, so my first tip is actually to wash all of your winter stuff. And that's what I've done. I did that this weekend. You can check that out in the short that is going to be associated with this video. Yeah, I washed all of these. The reason that I like washing all of my winter stuff, like all of it, even the wool stuff that I have, I like to wash it before I'm storing it away, because where I live, this stuff is gonna be hibernating all summer and spring at this point, and I want to make sure that it's clean and doesn't have any sort of like residues or anything on it. So I've washed and folded it. Now, my tip to you with washing your stuff, and I think it's helpful to wash your stuff because it forces you to go through every piece of winter clothing that you own. And that will lead us to being able to actually declutter this stuff. And I have actually piled my stuff up in a way that I'm going to explain it to you in a way that is going to be organized, so that when I go to get this stuff next fall/winter, I'll know the purposes of each clothing that I have, and I'll know when to pull those items out. And I also am gonna declutter some of these right away. So let me show you that right now. These are my little piles. This is like pajamas. These are also like loungy pajamas that I can actually wear in public too. These are base layers, sweaters, underlayers, socks, and that is actually already a pile of stuff that I've chosen to get rid of. This is stuff that I literally just like did not wear at all this winter, and so I'm gonna be getting rid of stuff that I'm not wearing at all, because I probably won't wear it next winter if I didn't even wear it this winter. Now, with some of these, like these base layers, for example, or even the sweater, there's gonna be items that you could probably declutter in this get-go, even if you did wear them, because sometimes when you have a minimalist wardrobe, you just wear what you have. But I really did not enjoy wearing like some of these items. And I can't really see myself forcing myself to wear items that I didn't enjoy this year. I can't see myself forcing myself to wear them again next year. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter the items that I didn't like. And then that's going to clear up my space for next year to be able to invite more space into my closet, literally, and even into my personhood of like expressing myself and allowing myself to change as the seasons change. So I do have a couple of more items too that I wore. This is another dress that I wore literally every day. Like, it was so comfortable, so warm, raw silk, Honey Dove brand, which I just absolutely love. Same with this one, just a different version. But with it being raw silk, it's almost like a flannel material, so it's going to be too hot for summer especially, and even for these spring days, it's just feeling too warm. So these will get put away. And I did wear even this dress, but this is a really thin cotton dress. I would wear base layers under it, but it's a perfect transitional dress, perfect for spring, so it will be staying. And these pants are perfect transitional pants too. I did wear them in the winter with base layers and whatnot too, but I can wear them with tank tops and it's a good transitional. So that's transitioning me to my now spring wardrobe. This is also not including like my coats and bonnets and scarves and all of the accessories that I would wear in the winter. I think those are just sort of a given and they won't be included on this video. So now we'll transition to what's actually going on in my closet now. Okay, so everything that was in that tote is hung up now, ready to go. It is my summer and spring combination, and there's a couple of those pieces, like I said, like this, that are transitional pieces. So that leads me to my tip number 2 when you're creating any kind of capsule wardrobe is to know your climate, which is funny enough for me because I moved last year and this is like my first spring in this new climate, but I'm familiar with this area. I grew up in this area, so I do know like what the springs are going to be like out here. Very different from the springs where I was living, but it's important to know your climate because then you'll know what to expect and you know what you're facing and you'll know what's to come even with the next season. You'll know how to transition when it's like kind of between winter and spring, which was what I was facing for quite a while. And yeah, and then you'll know, sorry, I was looking at my notes, and then you'll know more of like what you should keep out. This is not like a decluttering for spring wardrobe, mostly a decluttering for winter because we've already been through that season and we know what was worn and what wasn't worn. So we already went through that decluttering process. This is more a transition and bringing out the clothes that we have so that we can transition with the seasons. So you'll know what to keep out that might be transitional for your climate, and you'll know what to pack away that is no longer serving you for this actual season. So this is my wardrobe. This is like what I get to work with. This is the spacing that I have. It's not a lot, but I'm okay with that because I'm very minimalist, and actually being in a small space has forced me to become that much more minimalist. Actually, it's really funny. I had a friend over a while back, and I showed her my wardrobe, and I showed her like the space that I had, and she was like, "Wow, you're really minimalist." And I was like, "Well, you kind of have to be when you have small spaces." So that was kind of funny for me, but just some examples of transitional pieces that I personally have is like this. I wear this in the summer, I wear this in the spring, and I even wear it a little bit in the fall. It's a perfect piece, nice, lightweight. Same with this one. This is a summer outfit or a summer top. And this is like, I wear this shirt so much. It's a perfect transitional piece. It's also got a lot of purpose and intention with it being in my wardrobe. And that's like kind of how all of my clothes are. So that piece is a good transitional one for me. And then, like I said, these are transitional. These are going to be more summer. And then this is another good transitional. Like, I can combine these two. And even though it's spaghetti strap, it is like a thicker linen. So the combination of these two is like a good spring outfit, which I think I've already worn on this channel before. And then these are all of my dresses. So I'm wearing one right now. I have a couple of other ones in here. Let's see if I can just pull these out a little bit. This one just fell off the hook. And this one, so not a lot. I do wear a lot of dresses. So that's why I have majority dresses, not so many pants, especially when it gets hot. Like, I just want my legs to be able to breathe. It's good to know what you like to wear and are comfortable with as well. So my tip number 3 is you want to have pieces that flow effortlessly together. So this is like an example of an outfit that I have that is just like one thing that flows together for the transition and looks really good when it is paired together. This is another outfit that I have that just like flows really well together. I can throw one of those white cardigans on it because you can see this has like, it's like a striped print. And actually I wore this outfit the other day and my husband told me I looked really good in it. So that was encouraging. But then what's nice too is that I can have a more like slouchy, loungy, even like work outfit. And it changed literally just because I put that cotton denim over instead of that cute little tank. So when you have outfits that really truly feel versatile and they're simple, like patterns that match or colors that coordinate, you are creating a sense of effortlessness in your style, and that having that effortlessness and that versatility just makes it feel even like you have more clothes than you actually do, because you can, that's the part of the capsule, is you can blend clothes together and create multiple outfits out of just the same articles of clothing that you already have. And then the other thing with having versatile yet simple clothes is to have your staples. So for me, staples are like predominantly dresses. And what I mean by staples is clothes that require like literally zero thought. So when I put on a dress like this, for example, I don't have to think about how am I gonna layer it. I don't have to think about if a top is gonna match or whatever. I mean, I could layer it, but my clothes are simple enough that like brown and white go together. Blue and white go together. Brown and brown go together. So if you're creating a more simple sense of style, then your clothes are just naturally going to go together more easily. And then when you have like things like dresses or jumpers, even just like your staple pieces that you just wear all the time and you know that they're going to be effortless. But for me, it really is dresses. I can slip a dress on really easily, not even have to think about it, not have to layer it with anything, and that is like a staple in my personal closet, and that's why I have more dresses than I do of any piece of clothing. So it's good to know what you feel like your staples are. I was talking to a friend who said that her staples are a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and maybe like a cardigan or something. Definitely not mine, but that's what her staples are, and she loves that kind of clothing. So it's good to know what your staples are, something that just like doesn't require a lot of or almost any energy and effort. Okay, that leads me to tip number 4. Tip number 4 for creating a capsule wardrobe and a minimalist wardrobe is confidence and comfort. If you are not comfortable in your clothes, you're less likely to wear those clothes, which actually is taking up mental fortitude. And it's also taking up space in your closet, which is creating clutter, which goes back to the mental fortitude. It's taking up space, which isn't allowing for like new possibilities, new styles, new you, because you're just not going to wear those clothes, but they're still there, which is part of why I said in the beginning of this video that clothes from the winter, I'm decluttering those because I didn't like wearing them. I wore them mostly out of necessity, being in a new environment. Wasn't really sure like what to expect over the winter. But now that I know what to expect, I just didn't really feel comfortable in those clothes, and that's why they need to get out of my closet so that when next winter comes, I will be more prepared for who I am at that time and what my style is and how I want to even just like represent myself with clothing. And then the other thing is the confidence part. Like if you're wearing clothes that you don't feel confident in, then your body language shows it. Like you might hide yourself a little bit more, slouch a little bit more. You might not want to go out because you don't like the clothes that you're wearing. And this was like a really, really big lesson for me to learn, because I used to like love thrift store shopping, and I would get all of my clothes from like thrift stores, and I still have a lot of clothes that are thrifted because they've just like stood the test of time, actually, as far as material and me wearing them consistently. So I'm not saying don't thrift store shop, but this winter I invested in some very high quality clothing, and I did that partly because I was like, okay, if I'm getting this, like, this is what I'm going to be wearing for years to come, which is not to say that I'm not going to allow myself to change over those years, but I'm actually stepping into myself that much more by allowing myself to purchase more expensive, high quality clothes and saying, I love this piece of clothing and I am committed to wearing it for years, and I'm confident when I wear it, I feel really comfortable in it, and that makes me feel more confident in it, and that's going to make me wear it that much more. And when I wear the clothes that I have intentionally picked out, sought out, and I've spent more money on even, I'm actually a lot more minimalist minded to begin with. Like, when I go through that process, I should say. It makes me more minimalist because I choose the clothes intentionally, and then I wear them very intentionally and purposefully, and I take care of them, and I don't feel this hole, I guess, inside of me that's like, I need more, because I love what I have. And if you love what you have, you will wear it, you will take care of it, you will feel confident, which is just this beautiful positive feedback loop. So if you're not comfortable in it, you don't feel good in it, it's a lower quality, whatever it is, you're not going to wear it, it's taking up space, and it's just got to go. That way you can have the space that you need in order to feel good about yourself and your life. Again, that's not to say that you're not going to change, that your environment is not going to change, that your body's not going to change. It doesn't mean that if you buy a piece of clothing now, and let's say you become pregnant, or you move to a completely different environment, that like you have to hold on to that because you spent like so much money on it or whatever. You don't have to do that. Not saying anything to be legalistic or strict, but I am just saying that when you're intentional and you are buying with purpose, that you're probably going to end up holding on to those pieces more because they feel like you, instead of just finding clothes and wearing those clothes with no intention or direction. Finally, tip number 5 is know your clothes' purpose. I learned this actually through my son's clothes. This is something I do with his clothes, and I was like, why don't I do this with my clothes? So I started doing it with my clothes. It has helped my mentality so much with clothing. It helps me to know why I bought a piece of clothing, so that I'm not just like choosing clothes randomly and not knowing how to wear them, and then maybe getting them messy or ruined in some fashion or another. So knowing your clothes' purpose is going to improve your purchases. It's going to help you to be more minimal, so that you can say, okay, yeah, I got like 2 gardening outfits. I have 2 outfits that I wear around the house. I have my work clothes, like whatever your life is, you're going to be able to keep it kind of in order, like a little bit more organized, which for me helps me a lot, just to know that, like, for example, this, a friend recently got it for me, but or picked it out for me. This is like a gardening outfit. It is actually the perfect gardening outfit for me because it's a dress, it's denim, and it's thrifted. So, but it's a high quality thrift. So I'm not worried about it getting dirty. My whole purpose of this dress is to garden in it. Whereas the dress behind it is a Honey Dove piece. Honey Dove is a very high quality brand. I love her products so much. Like, I have so many of her clothing pieces, but it is raw silk, and it's just high quality, a little bit more expensive. This dress I would never wear in my garden, except maybe for like a photo shoot or something if I was ever doing that, but I would never like work in this dress. This dress is going to be super intentional, more for like holidays, anniversaries, maybe church every so often. And you might even wonder, like, well, why would you pay so much for a dress that you're hardly gonna wear? For me, that's the purpose of this dress. Like, that's the intention of this dress. And I know that this dress will last me a long time if I wear it for the purposes that I got it. But if I was wearing this dress to like play dates and parks and in my garden and stuff like that, this dress would not stand the test of time. It would get dirty because it's beautiful cream. And I would be like really devastated that I had spent so much money and just allowed it to get ruined, basically. So I think that's why, for me, it's really important to know, actually, like, this is a practice that I've cultivated now, to know the purpose of what my clothes are serving and use those purposes according to why I bought them in the first place. Well, we've made our way back to the tote, and I've got the majority of my winter clothes, and it is time to put these winter clothes into this tote. I'll be doing my husband's and son's clothes, getting their spring stuff out, but for now, I'm gonna put my stuff in, and I just want to say thanks for joining me. I hope that you were able to get a couple of good tips on building a capsule wardrobe for spring 2026. Also making that capsule wardrobe minimalist, beautiful, confident, comfortable, making it practical, purposeful, intentional, all of those wonderful things that we want to be cultivating in our lives. And I also hope that it was just like a little bit fun seeing what my own wardrobe is like. And I hope that it encourages you to move forward into spring, move forward into your own life, and shed this old and come out with the new. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll catch you guys next time.